understanding these three phases and how they relate to your customer's belief journey is how you create content that actually converts.
We just did a good job game planning. We trusted the game plan and it worked.
Do you want to know exactly what it takes to get your audience to believe in your product? But did you know that 80% of leads won't convert because they are unaware of the problem and, more importantly, unsure of the solution? There is a specific mental journey your most skeptical customers will take, and understanding it will not only revolutionize your content, but the way that you market to them. And not even just your most skeptical client, but we're gonna use them as inspiration. But here's the kicker. It is not just about how likely they are to buy. It's about how unaware of the problem they currently have. And more importantly, how to fix it.
What does it mean?
When you mentally approach your content in this way, it shifts everything you think about lead generation. And it's all about understanding the mental journey of your customers before you even talk about solutions. I'm going to introduce you to an exercise. Once completed, it's going to provide marketers with the exact stories and beliefs attached to the mental customer journey. But imagine what happens when you know exactly where your audience is on their belief journey. Imagine how heard and understood they would feel. So in this video, I'm going to show you how the phases of lead generation in marketing, meaning cold, warm, hot, relate to what I call the scale of belief, but the phases of belief in the mental customer journey that all clients take. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Every single sale is based on a series of beliefs that one would need to have in order to believe that what you provide as a business will not only ease their pain or avoid discomfort or whatever they are trying to get away from and move toward the solution of this is going to make a better, brighter future. And it really doesn't matter what you sell because that's the premise of business.
This is gonna be epic!
But understanding these three phases and how they relate to your customer's belief journey is how you create content that actually converts. If you can pinpoint exactly where your lead is on their own journey, then you're going to be able to deliver the right message at the right time that speaks to them and the inner dialogue they have going on inside them right now. But that's how you turn skepticism into trust and then eventually sales. So there are three phases of the scale of belief that also align with the concept of cold, warm, and hot traffic. So instead of thinking about this as how likely they are to buy, but maybe perhaps switch that as how unaware they are about the problem that they have. And more importantly then, if you're problem unaware, that 100% means that you don't know what solution is going to fix a problem you don't know you have. But before we dive in, there's two possible reasons that you could be watching this video. The first one is you're already in the middle of building your infinite content vault with us through the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas playbook. But the second one is you happened across this video by happenstance on YouTube, and lucky for you. What if you built what I'm calling a vault, a content vault, an infinite content vault that's ready and waiting with all of your top SEO and AEO research, top performing competitor videos and blogs, not to mention all of your branding information that would not only support content creation in the way that you want to produce content, but be an AI tool that can completely transform the way you think about how content is created in the first place. Because once you build this database, you're going to be able to create top performing content consistently. It's as easy as asking ChatGPT, except you don't have to explain to this AI who you are and what you want to talk about. Just because this might be hard to imagine, here is a quick demo of what I'm talking about. So see over here, you have videos, you have blogs, you have documents, and between all of these sources, I have now an infinite vault of ideas, meaning that if I say, I could ask for one idea, I could ask for create a series based on the sources, let's say a create a 5-part series based on the sources. Enter. So let's see what it comes up with. But while it's thinking, let's also look over here because you can generate an actual podcast. And I highly recommend you come in and try this. It's super creepy how real they sound, and just a little forewarning for what the future holds for us all. So over here though, you could create, based on the information that you've given the vault, you could create a study guide, which actually means you could create a tangible PDF based on your industry and top and niche for your audience. You could also create what's called a briefing doc. Now, of course, that sounds very corporate, and one thing I will say about the briefing doc is that it's not like what you're thinking. It's not a generic version of here's what to do and how to do it. But what it does do is it pulls out all of the best topics from your sources and gives you many, many ideas and angles at which to come at topics from. Because for me, I'm in content marketing. There is an infinite number of ideas and an infinite number of angles that I could come at that from. And the problem is that would basically stop most people in their tracks because they're like, wait, what do I do? And so what this does is it helps narrow down and give you a focus point of each individual piece of content, because your content, basically the rule of thumb is if you're asking your target audience to remember or believe more than one thing at a time, then they're not going to believe anything. And so you want every piece of content to have one particular focus. But learning behavioral changes, learning change in behavior as a result of new information. This is a part of content marketing because the whole point of content marketing is to create a change in behavior. And so having a piece of content about the study on that is actually kind of ironic, but you know what? That is definitely part of content marketing. So, as I said though, oh my God. So, here is just a live example though. I asked create a 5-part series based on the sources. So, here is an outline for a 5-part series. The series title is Mastering Your Audience and Lead Generation. Who here needs that? Who here wants that? Okay, so basically for your infinite content vault with your infinite ideas, you could be creating this exact same thing for yourself. So part 1, defining your ideal customer, the foundation of lead generation. Oh my gosh. So this has not only that, 3 key concepts and an actionable takeaway for me to create 2 lead magnets and core offers, attracting and engaging your ideal customer. Hang on. In the comments below, please tell me if this is something that you actually want me to create, because this seems rather relevant. Part 3, content pillars and the content unit, crafting engaging content that drives leads. Yep. Part 4, the 4 core methods of lead generation: warm to cold, one-to-one, and one-to-many. And I would also add in my scale of belief, which is one of the videos in the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook. And I highly recommend that you do that exercise because it's really powerful and really going to make you think about content from a different angle. Where'd part 5 go? Optimizing your strategy, data, testing, and iteration. Because of course, don't reinvent the wheel, just use what works. Not that that's the whole video, but that's kind of the summarization of it. This 5-part series should provide a comprehensive guide to mastering your audience and generating leads, drawing on key concepts from the provided sources and our conversation history. Now, just so you guys know, when you are using Notebook LM, if you do not save the note from this chat box in the middle is basically like 10-second Tom. If you don't save the note, then it will go away. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind, that when you're using Notebook LM, this is something that's supposed to clear out. Over here on the right-hand side, though, these notes down here are things that you will always be here when you come back. Yo, guys, this is just a very, very short and sweet demonstration of how this Infinite Content Vault, in literally seconds, created an entire 5-part series that is pretty relevant. And to be honest with you, comment below if you actually want me to make this series, because I have a feeling if you wanted infinite content ideas, you also want the 5-part series on how to generate leads, is basically how I would summarize what that 5-part series really was about. This is just to get you excited about what we are building in this series. So let's get back to it. If you're ready to build your own infinite content marketing vault, then there's a link below. If you're ready to stop scrambling on content, I've been building business tech systems for almost a decade now, and this one is probably in the top of what I've created, because you're going to have an endless, infinite stream of content ideas day after day, year after year, simply by putting the work in up front. But this video is just one of 10 free strategies that you can use to create content marketing that will not only resonate with your audience, but it's also based on existing high top performing content. And then it also has an added zest from your personal branding. So before we dive into the exercise, welcome back to Business Fundamentals with me, the Business Cowgirl. I have been a business consultant for almost a decade, specializing in building business systems. And I have recently turned my sights on content and content marketing and how to make that an easy, painless process. Because right now, it seems like the general feels about it is that it's like pulling teeth and an endless hamster wheel that everyone is dying to get off, because the amount of content that the world's requiring right now is insatiable. So I wanted to create a system that helps you do that easier with less strain and stress. Not all clients or customers follow the exact same path. So if you outline the path of most resistance, then you're going to encompass people who catch on a little faster.
I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot today.
Now, to help demonstrate this, I actually created an example of my own personal scale of belief, because I have to do the exact same thing that you have to do, except I am doing it about content creation and content marketing. So we all have the same start and ends. The first one being, I don't need help achieving blank, meaning I don't need content marketing to get consistent leads in my business, right? So that would be an example of where someone would start for my personal business. And then the end would be, I need help achieving lead generation in my business through content marketing, and Business Fundamentals is the business that's going to help me get there. So we all have these two start and end phases, which of course that is the sale, right? And there are many micro beliefs along the way that someone would need to adopt in order to get from point A to point B. And I've broken this down into ways that you can think about it to help make this exercise even easier. So the first phase is cold. So some people know they have a problem and some people don't at this stage. Now, you could be ignorant, meaning you actually don't know what the problem is. You could be willfully ignorant, meaning you know exactly what the problem is, but you're refusing to acknowledge or accept it to find the right solution to fix that problem. Or the third one is you're avoiding it altogether, which those all kind of interrelate to each other. However, those three different mindsets, imagine them as three different people, because somebody avoiding it altogether, you have to reach at a level where you're saying, if you avoid this any longer, then this consequence is going to happen. Versus somebody who is willfully ignorant of the problem, you would perhaps approach it a bit more like, I see you. I know that you've been avoiding this problem, and let's play it out if you continue to pretend like you don't have this problem. And then the other one is ignorant, where they don't know they have a problem. So you say, hey, do you have a problem getting leads in your business? Well, it might not be because of your marketing. It might be because you're not creating content that's actually resonating with the person that you're trying to reach. But like I said, all of these three different groups would require a different message to bring them along the path from point A to point B. All right, so within the playbook, there is a workbook where you're going to specifically map some of these things. And most importantly, after we are done with this workbook, you are going to export it as a PDF and upload it into your Infinite Content Vault so that it becomes a source in your Infinite Content Vault. So there is a page for specific instructions, writing out exactly what we're talking about in this video, but in case while you're doing the exercise, you want to refer back to some of these notes. These are all the things I've said in the video, but sometimes it's easier to read them instead of just hear them. So this is the example that we are going to work off of. So this is the example, and of course, before you export this as a PDF, make sure you delete the example pages, because then you're gonna have my marketing in your Marketing Infinite Content Vault. And we want yours to be just about you. This is just an example to show you how to think about it. So, as we were talking about with the cold audience, here are some examples of people that are unaware they have a problem. Leads will come in naturally if I keep doing what I'm doing. Anybody listening to this can maybe think of a time where they thought about that. If you build it, they will come. Oh, the biggest marketing lie ever known to man. The second one, I don't think content marketing applies to my business. Now, that's a very common one that I come across. Everybody thinks that content marketing is not for them, but that's because they have a misconception that content marketing is, some influencer waking up and pretending that they go to sleep with makeup on at night, right? And look perfect when they wake up in the morning. The third one, I don't have time to create content. There's no point. Now, here's the deal. Anything in life that's important, you make time for. So if you knew the statistics on why content marketing is so impactful for your ideal audience, then best believe you'd be making the time. But these are all beliefs, micro beliefs, where someone could start from, where, say, I am trying to get them to come up with I'm trying to get them to build their infinite content vault so that they don't have to think about content ideas ever again. But they could be coming from a point of, I don't have time to create content, so there's no point. So they are maybe my shoe-in, right? Because I'm like, well, I'm going to have you create something that takes a lot of the time, energy, and effort out of the process. So then it becomes, now what's your objection? Which the second group is the willfully ignorant. Like content marketing is too complicated for me to bother with. Everybody that wants to not do something builds it up as something very complicated in their head. That's pretty normal. So when it comes to you doing this exercise, that's a pretty basic one, right? It's whatever you're trying to get them to believe, it's too complicated. That's a pretty, willfully ignorant. It's too complicated. I don't want to try because I believe it's like that. So the next one is, it's not worth investing in content. I'll just rely on referrals and paid ads. But again, this is a belief that someone might have about being willfully ignorant to the problem. Or I can just rely on paid ads. And side note, the best paid ads are actually organic content that did really well, and then you just promote your organic content as an ad. So organic content is a way for you to test your best ad ideas and ad concepts before you pay for them. And the last one, avoiding the issue altogether. I don't want to think about lead generation right now. It feels overwhelming, which I hear all the time. And it is overwhelming if you make it too complicated in your head. And marketing isn't my problem. I just need better products or services. I agree that you would obviously need the best products or services. However, I will also say that if your marketing is not on point, then it won't matter. No one will ever see your products or services. So they can be as great as you want, but if your marketing is not in alignment with your ideal customer, then it won't matter how great your product is because no one's going to buy it. In the cold lead gen phase. Now, what you are going to do with this is, with all of these micro beliefs, you're going to come up with content that addresses each of these micro beliefs head on, meaning you create a piece of content that specifically addresses that one false micro belief, and by addressing that one false micro belief, you move that person from that micro belief to, say, whatever their next micro belief is. So it could be your most skeptical person's gonna hop around in this cold lead gen area for a bit before they get to the warm and then eventually to the hot. But by creating content that specifically addresses each of these false beliefs, you're going to move somebody along their mental customer journey that then gets them to recognizing not only the problem they have, but the solution they need and you as a trusted advisor to help them fix that problem. So phase 2 is warm, where your audience is problem aware, but now not solution aware. Again, this breaks into the same 3 psychological states where you're ignorant of the solution. This is about the solution now. First, they're ignorant of the problem. Now they're ignorant of the solution. But willfully ignorant, meaning they know what the solution is, but they're willfully not moving toward the solution that they know that they need. And then the third one is avoiding. Again, if you are you're not avoiding the fact that you have the problem, you're avoiding finding the solution. So for my example, here is overcoming ignorance. Leads are unpredictable, and that's affecting my business growth. I agree, leads are unpredictable, but what's affecting the business growth is you not doing anything about it, right? And so the same way that we went through the cold phase, this is the warm phase where you're going to create these same false beliefs on the fact that they are problem aware. So they know the problem is that their unpredictable lead generation is affecting the business growth, but they are solution unaware, so they don't know how to fix that problem. So as I said in the cold section, we would be creating content specifically around these individual false microbeliefs, and that's really what this whole process is. This process for you and your business, it's helping you identify what someone is struggling with so you can create content that speaks to where that person is at. And that's going to make them feel understood and immediately build trust and move them along, because you can help them become solution aware through the content that you're creating. But unless you're willing to acknowledge that so at this point they are problem aware but not solution aware, then unless you're able to acknowledge in your content that they don't know what the right answer is, and you're not creating content that leads them to understanding what the solution is, then you're not meeting them where they are at. And that's what makes this specific exercise so powerful. So this example is in the workbook, so you can use it to build your own scale of belief. But now it's your turn. You need to figure out your own business's scale of belief. Like I said, in the workbook, you have the written instructions, and you also have my sample for my business, which is helping people come up with content marketing ideas. It's basically content marketing, digital marketing, and social media marketing rolled up into one. And using my example, especially in an industry where everybody here, we're all creating our infinite content vault. So you all believe that content marketing or content in general is the way that you're going to grow your business. So when you're looking through the beliefs, you can maybe identify, oh, I used to think that. Oh, I used to think that was true. And recognizing even in yourself what touched you to help you move along that path is going to help you reach your audience on a deeper level as well. All right, guys, at this point though, if you are unsure of the documents that I have been sharing, then that means you're not doing the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook with us. And that's how you gain access to that workbook that I was sharing. So if you are, then you are in the right place for building your infinite content vault. And if you're not, then what are you waiting for? The link has always been down below this whole time. But now that you know the critical stages of belief and how they shape your customer's mental journey, but in the next video, we are going to craft the perfect messaging to help people see the success milestones that you help people achieve in your business, and then use those success milestones to help your audience feel inspired to say, I could be that person. I could be their next success story. But if you don't know what the success milestones are in your business, then how are we going to know what to inspire them to be like? What transformation are we even trying to create here? But before you go, even if you're not doing the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook with us, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do this same exercise for your business, because your first step to understanding your ideal audience is meeting them where they are at and helping them along the journey of what they need to believe in order for them to get the solution that they need, which is you. So don't miss out on the next video where we're gonna go over your business's client success milestones and how to use those to create the perfect content that's going to reach your audience and inspire them to take action with you and your business. And let's turn that into some high top converting content. So I'll see you there. Thanks for tuning into Business Fundamentals with me, the Business Cowgirl. And if you want more free, awesome content just like this to help your business grow and develop online from a seasoned expert in business technical architecture. But if you really want your business to grow, then I highly recommend you check out my weekly newsletter, Winning Business, from somebody who's been a business consultant for the last 10 years, helping businesses create efficient and effective workflows to help their businesses save them time, money, and resources. What does that really mean? It means the answer to the question of what you need to build for where your business is trying to go. So when you're ready, those links are always down in all my video descriptions for you. So to be continued.